It's good to see some good smiling faces. We could all use that these days, I'm sure. But good to be with you all today. Hopefully, you are checking or clicking that OK button for the recording. I want to officially start off by thanking you all for being here and wishing you all a great 2026. Hopefully, those holidays gave you some rest, some peace, maybe some energy for this new year we're in. So, again, hoping that that is the case. If not, we'll do our best part to help you out on that journey this year. But good to see everybody and want to kind of jump in because we've got a lot of team updates, but again, want to thank you. And as y'all know, the main thing we ask you all to do as you come in is to please put your contact info in the chat so we all know who you are. I know our team knows many of you, but some of the members or partners may not know you. So please make yourself visible in the chat. And we will certainly use the chat lively during this first general meeting of the year in January. So, again, thank you for being here and tuning in. Want to start off with a couple of quick highlights. Uh, Very successful holiday event in December of last year. We appreciate everybody who was able to be there. Let's just say I've gotten a lot of calls from people that were like, "Why didn't you give me the invite?" And so myself, I've got some work to do with folks in our community that weren't there, but all in all, I think there was a lot of folks who were happy and very compelled to see this journey of NAMAC on our legacy event in December. So we will keep that momentum going. But thank you for those members and partners. I see Antonio and some others who were honored and just very happy to see the blessing of having family businesses growing and sticking together as small businesses through these tough times. So thank y'all for being who you are, including partners who partner a lot with us with our members. Um, there's some upcoming kind of education offerings that some of the team is going to be talking about here shortly. So we'll give them some airline to kind of speak here shortly in a minute. Also wanted to make sure, if not for this meeting, for future meetings, if there are any translation services that any of our members may need, we would love to get emails from you before, let's call it a week or two before any meeting you might want to come to, if that is the case, so that we can work with our translation services to make sure that we have an appropriate bilingual speaker there for, that need. We don't see that as always a need at NAMAC, but we just want to make sure that we offer that for any training any of our Latino other members might be needing that additional support in. We will have a host of presenters today, so we'll get to that shortly. Want to also mention that we are seeing a lot of spam and fraud, which is typically the case for a lot of nonprofits around fundraising, end of the year, new year. But I think y'all all know NAMAC well. We're never going to ask you for any money or to send us any kind of unscrupulous information. That's for members and partners. We've had some members and partners flag emails that they've gotten with either my name or other team members' names or NAMAC as a umbrella company's name on it. So please flag those things to us if you see it. If you're unsure, please give us a call or email because we do not want to take anybody's information over email or even inquire about those kind of things. So I know y'all know what that feels like, and we don't want anybody to get into any fraud or anything that feels like spam. So just wanted to mention that. We
Can
do
I hop
also,
in on that
oh,
real
yeah,
quick, Nate?
absolutely, Senator.
And more importantly, because this is the one we're hearing about a lot, we do not sell our member list.
Oh,
If
yep.
you get an email saying, "Hey, do you want to buy the NAMAC member list?" It's not a thing. That is not us. That is fraud. All of our member information is on our website, can be sorted and located in that way. And we do not sell anybody's personal information, member, partner, community partner, nobody. We do not do that. So if you get those, that's fraud. Block them and know that that is not NAMAC.
No, thank you for making that specific point, in because yeah, that's happened from time to time over the years, but that's not a way we operate for those that know us. So again, thank you for making a bigger point of that, Sin.
Yes. Real quick, can I say, hey, Josh? Josh is my neighbor. I didn't even know you were here. He's presenting today, and I didn't even connect the dots. Hey, I'm gonna come knock on the door after work today.
It's always open.
I see
Okay.
NAMC all in through the neighborhood. I like that. I like that. Nice to meet you, Josh, online too. But just going ahead and picking back up where I left off. As y'all know, there's a lot of uncertain times with recertification on DBE programs. We have been at the helm, at least in the state of Oregon, to ensure that COBID and partners help us really get these folks, NAMAC members included, that are going through recertification processes in the queue, and that's been going very well. COBID will be here to present a little bit more in a minute, but we wanted to let members know or partners who have any subcontractors or folks that are having challenges around DBE, please send them our way. We are a pretty open organization. We tend to try to work with a lot of our inclusive businesses of color. But at times, if we have the bandwidth, we can work with others in the marketplace if that's a need. So want to make sure that that's a point to press, and we'll hear more about that so that folks can hopefully get recertified quickly and back out on some of those good projects in the community. We're also going to be making connections with Lowe's and Home Depot. NAMC National has a discount program. I think we've got one of our national reps that will be with us here today that will talk about NAMC hosting this year's NAMC National Midwinter event, which is really more of a national board conference here in Portland, Oregon. But we will call on some members and partners to hopefully attend some outings that will be kind of open to our membership group here. But we'll be together in February, the week after Valentine's Day. After every man on this call is taking their wife out or significant partner, we gonna make sure that that we make sure that y'all are a part of that if that opportunity is there. So you'll hear more about that shortly. But just wanted y'all to know that there are some programs with Lowe's and Home Depot that we have that just want to make sure that y'all can take advantage of if there's that additional resource or discount need for materials at those two companies. Want to also pause for a minute and give our very own policy director, Con Tran, the floor for a minute. We don't want to be a repeater of regurgitated information, but we are always going to be asking for data and accountability at the forefront of many of the projects we put in front of our members. But I want to give the floor to Con to give some details to some things that he wants to hear from members and partners on. So, Con, you've got the floor.
Thanks, Nate. Hey, everyone. Afternoon and Happy New Year. Nate, I'm doing it myself. Um, Good to see you all. Contran here, Policy Director, as Nate mentioned. Just wanted to touch base with you and let you all know that we're going to start our data collection. If you were here towards the end of last year, similar surveys and information collecting that we do with our membership and partnerships. We're going to start that bright and early next month at our in-person member general meeting. So just want to give you all a heads up. So if you need whatever information you may think you need to collect, members, it's going to be the same kind of information as last year, your business size, revenue, all that stuff. For partners this year, we're doing a little something different. We want to specifically kind of hone down on data regards to your project outcomes for 2026 and maybe some project outcomes in 2025. So that way we can kind of compare and contrast. We want to ultimately tell the story about our members and partners' economic impact in the region and how we can name exports that. So this is everyone's warning. Next meeting, I will be coming up to you with a survey or probably something of that sort, and I will continue to come up to you with surveys. For those who did fill out surveys and give us information last year, thank you very much. That was super helpful, and we look forward to an even larger number this year.
Well, thank you, Con. And if folks are unfamiliar with what he was talking about, because maybe this is your first meeting as a attendee, his information's in the chat. He could tell you more. We will also be giving policy updates throughout the year, so he's the guy to reach out to if I'm not available to talk about any advocacy or any other policy agendas this year and looking forward. So thank you again, Con. Before I turn it over to the rest of the team, I also want to include two new partners. I'm not sure if both are here, but we have two new partners that have come on board, ND HR. So if any members are needing HR services or you've got worker challenges or even looking to robust and improve your HR manuals and what have you. We are finding more and more reps in those resource areas of supporting our member needs as you grow or want to improve your operations or HR policies. So I want to thank them for coming on as a partner. And then y'all heard a little bit of the rumblings maybe of last year, but we also have added a new partner in Presidio. If folks are familiar, they're the new owner's rep on the Portland Public School bond. And I think I can say this now because we just inked our contract just yesterday. We will also, NAMC-Oregon will be the owner's rep under Presidio on the 5-year bond with Portland Public Schools. So can't say enough about being able to work with both Colas, Hoffman, and Skanska, all great partners we've always worked with. But we want our members to know that they're here today and probably will continue to follow up tomorrow and in the future because we want to hit some high goals, much like we have been hitting on many of our owners' rep projects. So we know those three organizations will do their fair share of shared prosperity amongst our members and others. So looking forward to hearing some of that on our agenda today and as we progress, because there's many opportunities, even outside of the bond, to do some rehabs and on-call work with PPS that isn't just with those three firms I mentioned. And again, we just want to make sure we open the door wide to economic opportunities in 2026. With that said, I want to go ahead and ask Kevin to unmute himself and kick us off with team reports.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see everyone. Good wide audience here in the room. I am speaking on behalf of the NAMC University branch of our services. As some of you might know, NAMC University ended up on a really strong foot last year. This year's NAMC U Q1 schedule has started to hit the social media pipelines. And so I encourage you all to take a quick look at that when you get to see it. We will be convening as well the beginnings of our NAMC University committee for this year. Some of you are right here in the call. Some of you are maybe soon to be on that call when we have that in the next week or so, in the next 2 weeks. And so please take a look at all those details. I say this often. We can't program out this tentacle of our services without hearing from you, from partners, from members. If there's things that you are seeing from talking to business members, if you're seeing struggles, that helps us to form an educated, insightful position of service to help them solve for those solutions, those headaches. So I look forward to working with some of you in the weeks to come. I look forward to hearing from a lot of you as always, and I look forward to providing technical assistance as always when you need it. So just let us know. That's all from me.
Thank
And
you.
if you look in the chat at some point, we should have the flyers for that lineup. So I didn't miss that, but just take a look at that when you see it.
Yep,
Thank
they're
you.
starting to get posted, Kevin. So, yep, thank you for that shout out and updates. I want to kick it now over to Tiana.
Hello, everyone. Good early evening, afternoon. My name is Tiana Trice, and I just want to let you all know that we are kicking off Lunch and Learns next week. January 16th on Friday. City of Portland will be doing an information session on SAP Ariba. So if you need more information about that, please attend Thursday, February 26th. Swinnerton will be here in person. And their topic will be setting your project up for success. So please attend. And last for the quarter, we have a Q&A session with a business lawyer, and that will be featuring Narwhal Law. So with that being said, if any of you guys have any specialized trainings or any new projects or any new programs that you're trying to roll out, please reach out to us at education@NAMC-Oregon, and I'd be happy to schedule a session for you. Thank you.
Thank
Quick
you, Tiana.
update, Nate, on that. Tiana, I think Swinnerton's date changed.
Yes, it's Thursday, February Thursday, February 19th. You are correct.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries. And do you want to just throw out a little bit about Back to Basics?
Yeah. So we are also rolling out a new program that I will be facilitating. It's called Back to Basics. Um, a lot of our members need some support with back office. So we will be doing things, we will be training and teaching them the fundamentals of finance, also human resources support, networking, and building their business plans and just what to overall have in order for them to have their business functioning. And that will start February 4th. So if you know anyone that is a NAMAC member that could benefit from being a part of Back to Basics, please, please, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you for that update, Tiana. And now I want to hand it over to Sadie, who's doing a great job of coordinating our Building Green Futures program. Sadie, I'll kick it to you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Sadie. I lead the Building Green Futures program, which is a program designed to provide the NAMC-Oregon members and their team free access to green construction certifications. We have an exciting new opportunity coming up for our members. It is a Sustainable Program Management certification offered through the University of Maryland. This is going to be a 4-week course in person at no cost to selected participants who will receive a certification from the university upon completion. The applications for registration will open in late March and classes will begin April 4th. So if you're interested and you are a NAMC-Oregon member, please reach out to me. I believe there will be a link in the chat as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Sadie. Please reach out. That program has been doing very well, and we want to keep that momentum going. So please reach out to Sadie and Damien if needed as well. But glad to hear that update. Do we have Doreen on the call, who's our rep from NAMC National? I was not able to see her when I scanned. Not sure.
Maureen is not coming, Nate. And I do think our national spokesperson is here. Let me double check.
I don't know if Window or if that would be.
Yeah, Wendell, we let him in. He was here.
All right, Mr. Stimley, if he.
He is not here. We're getting them a separate link. He fell out. And so let's go
Okay.
on to the next one and come back to him.
Yep. Then that gives us good old neighbor Josh Evans. We'd love to hear from you about what you got going on at PCC. And I hear can somebody mute their screen so we don't have a lot of vibrations in the background as Josh presents? Thank you so much.
Good
On you,
afternoon,
Josh.
everybody. Thank you, Nate. Damien, thanks for making this happen. Cinnamon, thanks for the shout out. I appreciate you. It's a small note here for me just to jump in and talk about some funding that we have. So the purpose of my program is to support any of you that are looking to bring on a full-time employee in the new year. And funding has been difficult from the federal level, but we have a little bit of funding remaining through the end of June. And then the bigger reason that I'm here, and for some of you, this is not the first time you've heard this, so forgive me and bear with me, but we do have some funding available from the Portland Clean Energy Fund. And the idea there is that we have a massive amount of need for renovations in our city, and we need people that know how to do that work, not just to do the work, but also to train our workforce. And so the idea behind this workforce development initiative is that contractors, like many of you on this call, have the know-how and the ability to provide training to folks that want to work in what we consider to be clean energy. Or we can just call it construction, because if we're making a house more energy efficient, then we're abiding by the goal of the Portland Clean Energy Fund. And Part of the benefit to that is it's local money. So we're not worried about the Department of Labor. We're not looking at this as if some administration or budgeting can remove these funds from our region. These are dollars that are here that are being collected and distributed each year. And so this gives us an opportunity to build lasting relationships. And as we're working through this, I'll get through some of the specifics, but my time with you today isn't designed to be a one and done. My goal is that any of you that do have hiring needs can feel comfortable to reach out to me and we can consult and see if it's going to work. But I'll just give you some of the basics today, and then I'll forward on a how-to document that can be distributed to members as needed, just to introduce you further to the program so you don't have to hold on to some of the math and pieces as we work through this. So part of what we're looking at here is, and bear with me, the language on this screen really just gives the specific, right? We need people that are qualified to do the training. We can't send somebody to a community college or a university and then they know how to go out and retrofit a home or install or update an HVAC system. And the idea is that we're getting folks that want to move into this industry to partner with an organization that has the ability to continue to invest in them. And our encouragement in encouraging you to hire people is solely in the form of money. And the idea is you bring someone on, you hire them. We know that during the period of time where you're training them, they're not necessarily a fully functioning employee. And that takes your trainers offline. That means that there's less efficiency involved. And so we do it through a reimbursement. So an example would be hire a new employee, spend the first 8 weeks focusing on very specific skill set. And the goal would be at the end of that 8 to 10 weeks, that person can now go out into the field and do the things that you were training them to do and not need as much oversight. At the end of that 8 to 10 weeks, you as the business are eligible to receive 25% reimbursement of what you paid them. And then fast forward 90 days beyond that, we'd be looking to reimburse another 25%. So total, we could reimburse up to 50% of what you spend on their wages during that initial 8 to 10 week period, up to a maximum of $5,000. And we know that that doesn't cover everything that goes into it, but the idea is if we can get $5,000 headed your way over a period of time, is that what would be necessary to encourage you to bring on a new employee? Now, we know that we're a bit of a seasonal area as we're starting to see some of the rain lately and temperatures and whatnot. But the idea is that we're looking for 6-month or longer employment. And for us on the workforce development side, that means that if that person is only with you for 6 months, fast forward, they're now more employable. They have a skill set that they would not have otherwise because of the time and energy that you gave to them. So part of what we're looking at with this is the different areas where we're able to deploy this money. There's a lot on this page, but the takeaways are you're in the construction industry, you qualify. If you're in any of the counties directly surrounding the Portland metro area, you qualify. The specifics to keep in mind, if you are going to hire somebody new, we would need the minimum wage to be $21 an hour or more. And we would need on average for them to work 30 hours a week for that initial 8 to 10 week training period. And then we would need at least one employer paid benefit. That can be time off, that can be health insurance, that can be anything that we know that person is receiving only because they're working with you. So not a lot of specifics there. Try to keep it as simple as possible. And to give you an idea of how it works over time, it would be up to me to connect with you, make sure that your company has what's needed to give me payroll records when needed, that you have somebody on site that's able to do the training, and then we're able to work through the description of what does that training plan look like. I ultimately am not going to teach this person anything. I don't have the skills that many of you member contractors have, but we'd be able to detail what can this person grasp in an 8-week period of training. And then we fast forward at the end of it, did they grasp it or do we need to extend it? How do we make sure that that person is going to become a valued member of your organization? And then at the end of that 8 to 10 weeks, I reach out, I request payroll records, I send you an invoice that you sign, give you 25% reimbursement immediately. Fast forward 90 days. If they're still there with you, we give the other 25% immediately, and you're off and running. So I'll pause there. And Nate didn't know what we had in terms of time for questions, if it would be better for me to take those offline, but I'm happy to.
Yeah, are there any pressing questions? I'll maybe start there because if there is a hot to trot one, I'd much rather ask that now. And if not, we will move it to uh on the chat line, but I will scan. Oh, I see Jennifer. Jennifer, go ahead and ask your question.
Josh's contact information for follow-up.
That's an easy one. Josh, have you put your contact info in the chat?
I did, but I'll do it again when I
Oh,
finish here, so it's further down the list.
okay, sounds good. Is that good, Jennifer?
Yes, because I do have a few questions.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Natalie, how about you?
Hi, quick question. I didn't see my industry on there, but I'm in a roundabout way still deal with that industry. Am I still eligible to try to take part in this program?
Yeah, maybe more you and I just chat one-on-one,
Okay.
see if we can figure out how that gets in there. So yeah,
Okay.
I'll put my info in there and we can connect offline.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, it seems like a great program. I'm gonna scan one last time, not seeing anybody. And Josh, my apologies. I said PCC, even though I know you work for WorkSource and you're probably in PCC. I just looked at your title versus my agenda, so hopefully I didn't cause any
Now
consternation here or not.
we're all married together,
That's
my
what I
friend.
figured
Not a
because I
worry.
was like, oh, but let me make sure I'm clear in case they call you about a project at PCC or something. Um, okay.
I'm
If
sorry, I'm not seeing Josh's information in the chat.
No, you're fine, Jennifer. I'm going to update all of it again here at the bottom.
Okay, thank you.
My
Yep.
pleasure.
And for anybody, and this is a good point that Jennifer's even kind of pointing out, not knowing, but if anybody for some reason forgets or doesn't get an email, you can always email our team at NAMAC and we will make sure we get you those direct contacts. And we will share recordings just in case there was presentation material, including the materials presented today too. We make sure we get that out to all members. So we will make sure y'all don't miss anything. We promise you. Um, all right, shifting gears, I want to see, do we have Mr. Stimley now back on? Are you there, Windows Stimley? All right, he must be having a challenge. I don't know if anybody sent him in, if you could check in over email, because I know he was
I think
supposed to.
we, I think we just admitted him. I saw a phone just come in and that's what we were trying to help with.
Okay, I will give one brief pause to make sure. Mr. Windows Stimley, would you be present with us right now?
Nope. Okay. On to
Okay.
the next.
We will keep it pushing. All right. Now I would love to introduce what I started with around some of this great PPS bond work. Would love to have Josh from Colas Construction and Luis give us some brief updates on the Jefferson remodernization project because we all chomping at the bits to know what's the next moves.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks, Nate. It's great seeing so many familiar faces in here, and it's great being in the room. So, yeah, just awesome, awesome being here. So we'll just jump right into it. We don't want to take too much of your guys' time, but we want to leave enough room for questions. So, my name is Josh Melu with Colas Hoffman.
I'm
Pro-
Louis Papsdorf. I'm an estimator with Colas.
And then we have Rebecca Kilgore. I think she's still in the room. She's a purchasing manager with Colas Hoffman. You might be a little bit more familiar with her as well. So basically, we're here just to talk about the Jefferson High School modernization. I know a lot of people have heard about Jefferson getting remodernized, and there's been a lot of different chapters. Is it happening? Is it not? You know, contractors switching out. So it's on track. Colas Hoffman has joint ventured essentially to perform the project, and we were selected. And now we are in full go, full swing to get this thing going. Things are moving really quickly, so it's really important for everyone who's interested in being part of this project just to be engaged and just paying attention to all the different updates that are coming. So I'll start off with this thing and then I'll hand off to Lewis, and then we'll leave time for questions after, and then I'm sure Rebecca probably might be able to join in as well. So for those of you that don't know, Jefferson High School it was built in 1909, and it is located in North Portland in the legendary, I want to say, Albina neighborhood. So the new plan for the build is a full, complete campus replacement. And the way we're going to do this is basically a phased approach. So phase one is going to be the baseball and softball fields. So that's going to be happening here in July. Then phase two is going to be the actual building itself. And the building is going to happen on an occupied campus. So the kids are going to be in school while we're building the new building, and there's going to be delineation between the kids and construction. So there's that. And then phase three is going to be the demolition of the existing school and the rebuild of the football and track and field. The client is PPS, obviously, and then the architect is going to be a joint venture between Bora and Lever. All right. Just wanted to jump into some of the just kind of requirements that PPS has for us and some of the aspirational goals that we have for the project and what our certified business participation goals are. It's actually amazing to hear that NAMC is going to be joining Presidio as like within that owner's rep in capacity, because this is really going to help us in this effort as well. So they're requiring us the district is requiring us to have an 18% participation rate. Colas Hoffman is striving for a 25% participation rate. So this includes COBID, OMWBE, and DBE. So if you're interested in this project, please, please, please make sure that you are registered with COBID. They probably will talk more about that. That'll help you out a lot. The second part here is workforce equity and apprenticeship. So if you get a contract that's above $100,000, there's a minimum of 20% labor hours that are required to be apprentice hours. So if you are an apprenticeable trade, then we'll require 20% hours to be apprenticeable. And then overall aspirational goal is going to be 25% minority hours and then 14% female hours. Another really key aspect I wanted to kind of hone in on here is liquidated damages. So liquidated damages, basically, if we do not turn over the building on time, then PPS assesses basically a fee to us for not meeting that timeline. So just making sure that if you're on this job, making sure you're staffing it properly and making sure that you have enough manpower and ability to be able to get this thing done on time, because it's, PPS is really, really stringent. Colas Hoffman, we're going to hold your hand all the way through, but we just want to make sure that you're aware of that. And there's also going to be other safety requirements that we can go in detail about offline. So here I'll hand this off to Lewis.
Thanks, Josh. So my name is Lewis Popsdorf. I'm an estimator with Colas. Josh, I think we can, you're on the right page. So as you mentioned, this project is being split up into three main phases. And the first phase, which is the baseball and softball fields, is currently out to bid. Really importantly, we have a site walk or a pre-bid meeting tomorrow at the job site. So on the next slide, actually, we'll show you guys exactly where we're meeting, but 3 o'clock tomorrow at Jefferson High School, we'll have a pre-bid walk for this first bid package. It's currently out in the streets, and it includes a whole lot of electrical work, a whole lot of earthwork and site improvements, and all sorts of landscaping work. So if anyone is interested in pursuing these scopes, please feel free to contact me or bring your questions to the site walk tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The bid package or bids are due for this package on January 27th of this year. And if there are any issues with hitting that number, you can reach out to us and possibly ask for an extension. The second bid package is going to be the MEP for the main building. That's supposed to hit the streets for bidding in the end of January, and bids for this one will be due in February of 2026. Construction start for this MEP package will be in January 2027, along with the rest of the building work. After we award the MEP trade partners, we'll be moving on to the rest of the building packages. Nothing has really been awarded so far, so you'll see the larger bid package out on the streets in around September of this year, with expected construction starting next year in 2027. Here's a quick overview of the scopes that are included in that first bid package, which is the baseball and softball fields. You can either go to Hoffman's website or Colis's website or any number of trade centers to access the plans and documents for this project. We have a whole lot of stuff for you guys to review, including like wage rates, a really detailed, good set of drawings, and all that's available online at Colis's website or Hoffman's website. And just as I mentioned earlier, we are having a pre-bid meeting tomorrow on site to review the pre-bid documents for the first fields package that's due at the end of January. So would love to see you guys out there. This is going to be a really great project, so we're excited to keep going and get this project started.
Alrighty. And I just have some of our contact information here. I'll drop my contact information as well, but here's some more of our stuff as well, just in case. So thank you guys. Really appreciate your time. And Nate, I don't know if you wanted to hand it off for questions now or later. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
and I mean, I'll kick off with one. In the event folks can't get to that site walk tomorrow, is there another avenue for them to maybe get on site, or what's the, again, because sometimes people life be life and they just can't
Yeah,
get there, but they want to get there. Is there any other avenue to, I guess, kind of get some eyes on the site outside of tomorrow?
Lewis, I can hand that off to you.
Sure. I think they can reach out to us and we'll be able to schedule a time with the folks at PPS to review the site if folks want to look at the site after the site walk, or if there are any questions, you can just reach out to me or Josh or Rebecca directly and we'll be able to help you guys out.
Yep.
Sounds good.
I
see
have a
Mark.
couple of questions,
Cinnamon.
Nate.
Yep. Go ahead, Cinnamon.
Thanks y'all for that presentation. Most people who know me know I am a demo through and through.
There we go. There we
This
go.
is my school that you are rebuilding, and I actually
Proud
live
alumni.
2 blocks from the school. I'll be watching you rebuild it from my living room window.
Don't give us a hard time now.
I'll come down there in my pajamas. Don't doubt
There
it.
you go.
But my question is, so I appreciate all these details, but like, what are you doing? Are you tearing the whole thing down? Are you remodeling it? Is it going to be one building? Is it going to be 3 buildings? Are you keeping the
Yeah,
field? Are you getting rid of the field? Like, just a very high level. What are you?
absolutely.
What is the project?
Absolutely. So it's going to be a brand new, just all electric, multi-story building, and it's going to be moved to the north side of along Killingsworth. So we're building a brand new building and then demoing the old one. And where the old one is getting demoed, that's where the new track and field, the new football field, and the new tennis courts are going to be built. So it's no longer going to be just a renovation of the old building. It's going to be basically a brand new building as it stands. So it's going to have a lot of like state of the art, like academic and support spaces, new CTE programs, really cool stuff, all types of stuff ranging from like screen printing down to construction, down to there's a lot of really cool programs they're trying to attract. And yeah, and then just of course, Jefferson's known for its sports, so top of the line athletic facilities that are going to be included in that as well. So
Perfect. Yes, we are the school of champions, actually.
absolutely.
Hey, somebody mute
Yep.
Cinnamon. Somebody mute
Yes, we
her.
are, Cinnamon. Yes, we are.
Yeah, there you go.
So that means you're tearing down what we call the new gym, that kind of external gym that's getting torn down. Then all
Absolutely.
the buildings kind of behind the main building, all those are going by the
Yes.
baseball field and all of
Yep.
that. All of that.
Yep.
What
All of
about the field across the street on the other
Yeah.
side of Alberta? How is that
Yeah.
involved in the project?
So that's going to be part of the phase one. So that's going to be a new softball field.
Oh,
And yeah, it's going to get turned into a softball field. And then the existing baseball field is going to just be a renovated baseball field with AstroTurf. So that's
okay.
kind of what they got going on there.
Good stuff. So my last question is, and you knew I was going to ask you this because I emailed you.
Yeah,
Can
you did.
share with us how the babies will be involved in this project? Because I feel like that's something that's important in terms of access to exposure to careers in construction at a young age, something that NAMAC really cares about. And these are our babies. It's taking place at their school and they should be a part of.
Absolutely. So there's kind of a twofold thing when it comes to the kids, right? There's the safety aspect and of course the engagement with, the trades and construction and all the different aspects. So we are going to be partnering with the district and the on-site CTE, so Career and Learning for Technology. So we're going to be holding classes alongside the current CTE program that are going to be bi-monthly. So that's going to be opportunity for students to be engaged. We're going to be bringing in different trade partners as well, and we'll go through like, hey, this is what it means to be a project manager. This is what a superintendent does. Hey, this is how you get into the electrical trades. This is how you get into mass timber. This is what mass timber is. So there's going to be a lot of educational aspects that are included in this for everyone that's interested. And then when it comes to just safety in general, we're making sure that, logistically, that we're delineating very clearly between where the kids are and where our construction is. So there's a lot of logistical stuff that we're working through right now, and we've been doing it for the past 6 months, and we're going to just keep going until we have it dialed in. So
Perfect. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Excited
absolutely,
to see it get started.
me too.
Agreed. Can't wait
Yeah.
to be on it with y'all. And let me go ahead and kick it to Marquise and Dana, who are patiently waiting. But I'll go with Marquise first and then Dana.
Thank you, Nate, and thank y'all for sharing. I had a question. I was looking over the scope of work. How are y'all going to handle security?
Yeah, we need security. We need security.
Okay.
So feel free, just reach out to us because I don't think that we have a security package in this first run. But initially, I think we're going to set up with LVT cameras. But I think at some point we're going to need on-site physical presence. So feel free, just reach out to us and we can make sure that we have you in the loop on all of that.
Excellent. And I'll be there tomorrow for the walkthrough as well, and we have those cameras as well. But I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for your
Perfect.
time.
Perfect, man. Thank you, Marquise.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Dana. I would assume it might be a similar, but I'll go ahead and let you ask your
Yep,
question.
that is correct. It was similar, and he pretty much answered it. But I guess a further question would be: is it a prevailing wage job?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a prevailing wage job.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So that means, you're going to have to fill in do the LCP tracker and all that stuff with the city of Portland, and we can help you guys out with all that stuff as well. So yeah,
Okay, thank you. Yep, I'll be there tomorrow as well.
great. Look forward to it, man.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Any last? Oh, there goes Rebecca. I was hoping you might say something, Rebecca, because I know
Yeah,
I've
there we
talked to
go.
you directly
Hi.
about the project. But yes, go ahead, Rebecca.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that on the ball field package that's out, it's two bid items. One of them is all the electrical that's for the ball field, and then the other one is the synthetic turf. And under the synthetic turf is where we have the site concrete, the landscaping, some earthwork. So if you do any of those scopes of work, it really needs to go to the turf folks that are bidding. And so even if you can't make the pre-bid tomorrow, we're going to have a sign-in sheet. We'll issue that sign-in sheet in the first addendum, and we are going to highlight which ones are the turf contractors so that you will know who to reach out to and who to submit your bid to. I think there's also fences and gates. They're doing the whole sports field, the turf folks, besides the electrical. So just want to be clear on that so that folks are getting the most opportunity in submitting their bids to all the turf folks that are bidding so that, hopefully they'll get a chance to work on the project. And then the other thing I wanted to say is we're doing the procurement through the smart bids, what Hoffman typically uses. So if you are not getting invitations to bid from Hoffman, will you reach out to me so I can make sure that you guys are on the list? I mean, we'll advertise heavily and there'll be links with Colas and with Hoffman, of course, but I just want to make sure that everybody's getting notified directly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Any last questions before we move on? I'm just doing one quick thing. Oh, and Rebecca, you still got your hand up, so I know you
Oh, I'm
going to
sorry.
ask a question.
No. Oh, and there will be what's called a DSIP covering the general liability insurance
Oh yeah.
on site.
Yeah.
And so that's a really good thing. So don't include your general liabilities for on-site work in your bid. So that'll be nice to have that coverage available to you.
Good stuff. Thank you, Rebecca. And if any other questions come up, please go to the chat as I want to call up our good friend Alfonso at TriMet, which I'm glad he's going to be talking about on-call roof repair because I've had a lot of NAMAC members call me and the team about roofing project opportunities. So I'm hoping some of those roofing NAMAC members are online because this may be right down your alley. But on you, Alfonso.
All righty. Thank you so much, Nate. I'm gonna share my screen here. Oh, I think if whoever's sharing their screen, if they could just stop sharing.
Oh, yep. I think that might be Josh's group. Josh, are you guys able to unshare your screen so they can share theirs?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me try to
Okay, there you
pull
go.
out.
Yep,
Yeah, there we
yep.
go. Perfect.
All
Perfect.
right. Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much. Okay. So my name is Alfonso Romero. I'm a senior contracts administrator with TriMet. I'll be presenting today on behalf of our project manager who was not able to attend. And today I'll be speaking on the on-call roofing services, like Nate mentioned. So at the start of the pandemic, we did issue a contract. It was a micro contract for on-call roofing services. But since then, our needs have changed and increased. So right now, what TriMet is going to be looking for is a contractor that can provide the roof repair services. And this is going to support both routine and emergency services. Um, the contractor will be working at various TriMet facilities. It won't just be at one designated location. It'll be at multiple locations throughout the metro area. And the contractor is going to be working under the direction of the project manager. So some of the responsibilities that the contractor will have to follow are going to be supplying qualified personnel, providing approved materials and labor, complying with OSHA standards and codes, and performing routine maintenance as mentioned. So the scope of work is going to entail routine maintenance and inspections, leak detection and patching, vent and flashing repairs, gutter repairs, and structural condition assessment. Now, the response time that will be given to the contractor for emergency situations is they must be available 24/7. And upon completing uh, uh, the services, they must also provide a detailed report to the project manager. So same day response is a requirement for this particular contract. So the way that we're going to procure this is by an invitation to bid. So lowest bid will take the award. We're thinking that bids are going to be open sometime during the month of January, and it's going to be on a 5-year term contract. It's going to be a task order or on-call contract with an estimated value ranging from 800,000 to 1.2 million of federal funds. So if you're interested in doing business with TriMet, you can register at our website at trimet.org/procurement. The solicitation is not yet available, but like I said, sometime this month it will be. Once you register, we will automatically notify you of opportunities that are of interest to you. So if you have any issues getting registered, please let me know and I'll make sure that you're receiving notifications. Last thing I want to say is that I was told that there is going to be a pre-bid meeting. So it's a great opportunity to connect with the TriMet project manager, as well as scope out any competition or if there's any ideas of partnering with other firms. I think that's a good opportunity to do that. And last thing is I did want to leave the contact information for the contract administrator. That's Kim Neal. So if there's any questions that come up prior to the release of the solicitation, please let me know and I can put you in contact with the project manager. But once our solicitation is posted on our website, all communication must go through Kim Neal. So that address is available. And if anybody has any questions, I can try to answer them or pass them along to the project manager. Thank you.
Any anything, any comments, real quick for good of the order?
Mine is always the same. How does it work with like the security needs? You feel me for these contracts? Is there something that you guys will? Yeah. How does the security needs go for your TriMet projects and these roofing ones in particular?
Yeah, so the roofing one in particular, so just because it's maintenance and we're not doing new construction, is not gonna have a scope for security. Um, I know that we do have some security contracts out there. So, some of them are up for subcontracting opportunities and others are available for, to take on as a prime. So I don't think we have contracts that pertain to security that are for construction. I think that a lot of the times it ends up being the primes that we contract with that end up obtaining the security services. So I would encourage you to maybe follow up with some of those primes. And as I mentioned, you can always attend the pre-bid meetings where the primes are usually in attendance, and you can bring a copy of your capability service and let them know that that's something that you can help them fulfill in terms of scopes of work.
Excellent. Thank you,
But yeah,
Alfonso.
and if you have any other questions, feel free to connect with me offline. I'll go ahead and drop my contact information in the chat here in a second.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And if anything else comes to mind, as Alfonso said, drop something in the chat so he can respond. And if he can't, he'll get it to the PM as he said. So again, thank you, Alfonso, aka Poncho. Thank you.
Thank you,
Um,
guys.
all right. I want to go ahead and now shift to our good partners at COBID and ask Darren Spencer to unmute himself and give us some updates and some guidance on all things COBID and what to look for in 2026.
Sure. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, right on.
Yep.
So I put together a slide deck, and before I get ahead of myself, my name is Darren Spencer, and I'm with the COVID office. I am the program analyst. I have two of my colleagues with me as well, Jenny and Luke, and they'll jump in and help me out as we kind of walk through this. There's a lot to cover as it relates to DBE and the DBE changes, and so I'll step through this as quickly as I can. But if you have any questions along the way, feel free to put those in the chat or come off mute and ask me. Luke and Jenny, I just ask if you guys keep an eye on that stuff for me, and then we can kind of tackle it together. So everyone see my screen okay? Okay. All right, so there was a change. A change happened last October where the Federal Department of Transportation provided some notification to us and all the other UCPs across the country that they were changing how they were classifying or defining social and economic disadvantage as it relates to our disadvantaged business enterprise certification. And what they did is they removed the presumption of race and sex as being a disadvantage. And it requires that us as a certification office reevaluate all of the firms that are DBE certified in Oregon before we can restart our program. So when we got the notification, and I think it was October 3rd is when we heard about this. At that point, our DBE program was put on pause, and all the certifications were paused as we kind of work through what the process will be. And that's what we'll talk about here today. As I mentioned, now it is not presumed that just because you are a particular racial background or you are a woman that you have experienced social or economic disadvantages. So now what they're asking folks to do is to provide a narrative on how you have been impacted in your life. And it's not just the time that you've had your business, but it could be at any point in your life that you've experienced any social or economic disadvantages which should be noted and included as part of your certification, the DBE certification. It must be something that's happened within American society. So, for example, Adina, my boss, is from Bosnia, and one of the things that she talks about is, she may have experienced things in Bosnia, but that does not count towards any disadvantage that she would have here in America. One of the things that she has mentioned that she has challenges with is her accent sometimes was an inhibiting factor for her growth in her career here in the States. And so that would be the type of thing where you would want to include that as part of your personal narrative. And Jenny or Luke, do you guys want to jump in on anything? I know I sped through stuff. If you guys have anything, please feel free to jump in and add anything here.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit more to that. I'm Jenny. I am one of the compliance specialists. So one of the ones that will also be reviewing the narratives. And what Darren said is accurate. The federal government took out the default with the race and sex. That doesn't mean that can't be a reason, though. And so I noticed as we've been reviewing some lately for the ones that are coming in now that we're starting the process, is a lot of owners seem to be afraid to mention race or their sex or gender. Don't be afraid of mentioning it. It's just not a default anymore. But if you had a disadvantage because of that, absolutely put that because that is valid, right? It's just not by default. So
100%.
yeah. And if you have anyone has any questions about this, I am more than happy to answer them because there's a lot. The other thing I just want to emphasize a little bit is it's on you as a person and not your business. We've had to return and just speak to the owners a lot about they'll turn in one about small business, right? It's a disadvantage. It's hard to compete with the larger ones because you're smaller. But that's not your experience disadvantage, that's your business. And so it does need to be your personal disadvantage. Yes,
Yeah.
Natalie, that's the first one I see. So if there's someone else, I apologize.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I had started the process and then I got forewarned this was going to happen, and I'm just wondering. And I did have one application in the system, but I'm just wondering if this is even worth doing it because I am a small business. Do sometimes go up against the big firms like Parametrics and Jacobs, but it's like now you're saying that's kind of hard to quantitate like my social and
Well,
economic disadvantage with those
if your
firms.
lived experience, if something has happened to you in life, like you did not get an opportunity because of your race or sex, put that down. If you were not able to compete fairly because of that, or whatever it may be, it could be honestly that you lived so rural you didn't have access to anything, and that was a disadvantage. You could be, white, blue, purple, it doesn't matter. As long as you can articulate your personal and economic disadvantage, that's qualifying, right?
Okay.
We just need to stay away from like my business couldn't obtain financing because it is small, or something like that.
Yeah, that applies to anyone, that's regardless of who you are. If you have a small business going against larger business, that's going to be a disadvantage.
Okay.
And Darren,
One
if I
thing,
can,
Natalie, you said you're curious on whether or not you should do it. So you started a DBE application, but you just haven't finished it. And so the question is should I go through the trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you certified with anything else? Or
Yes.
do you have any other certifications?
Yeah, I'm certified the other COVID stuff that you have in here in Oregon and Washington.
So here's what I would say as it relates to is it worth it? If you if what you are offering is something that, let's be honest, if the Oregon Department of Transportation would be interested in your services, right, then you probably should go through the process of getting a DBE certification. Like the largest consumer that we see for the DBE certs is ODOT. And so that would kind of be the lens if you're trying to make that decision as a business owner, kind of largely, is it worth it for me? I would think through that particular lens, which isn't to say that no one else uses DBE, but I would say framing that as kind of a jump off would be an appropriate place to start. And if you've gone through the certification process with us before, it's going to be similar in terms of effort. So something to keep in mind.
And also, if I can jump in here real quick, I just want to say that we do have, we still are able to support you. So if you have questions about how it's going, if you want to know, like, what answers you're providing are right or wrong, whatever they are, we're always happy to talk with you about it. We're not just automatically denying people without cause. And I also wanted to point out that we have seen that there are some, I guess, businesses that are attempting to market themselves as providing, guidance or consulting on how to complete this process at your cost. And I just want to say that you don't need to do that. You can talk to us and we will totally help you get through it all on your own. So, yeah, feel free to reach out, and we can answer specific questions as they come up.
And I appreciate that, Luke. That's kind of speaking to the last bullet that we have here, which is, we'll help. We'll work with you. We're not going to just stamp it, denied, right? So Jenny is one of the folks. We have two people who are kind of looking at this the most closely, and Jenny is one of them, and would work with any folks who are going through this process. I saw a question in the chat.
Yes, from Sakuraku asking, has there been any recertifications that have been approved and already processed? Because there are, I guess, I wouldn't say many, but there are enough who have already submitted and have not heard back if they've been approved or denied.
Yeah. So, and I'll let Jenny, I'll get out of the way for you here in just one second, but and this is kind of ahead in our slides a little bit, but since it's come up now, I'll talk about it now. So the way that the process is working is that we have to deactivate and recertify everyone at the same time, right? And so if you have submitted an application for recertification, and Jenny, I'll look at you, I would assume that you would have heard back if your application has been approved or not. Whether or not that means that you have been recertified, like on our website, that won't happen until January 16th. But I am fairly confident that we're communicating with folks if their application is approved.
Not yet.
So
sorry, Darren. Sorry, Dan. No. So what happened? But Darren's information was correct as of just shortly ago. With the holidays, we ended up extending the date to, it was going to be the end of the year, and we were going to start approvals on the 1st and 2nd of January. But then with the holidays, we noticed we were getting a rash of stuff in right at the end. And so we ended up extending that deadline to the January 15th. And so the way the IFR is written is that no one can be recertified until everyone is recertified. So the other compliance specialist and I, basically on the 16th, will be doing a whole rash of certifications on that day. So because no one can have them until everyone has it. It's a weird writing of the rule, and it is confusing. And so if you haven't heard from us that something's wrong with your personal narrative, you're probably fine. And so what we have is we have a whole stack of all of these firms, and when that green light hits, we're approving them all, and then you'll get an email at that time. For the firms that did not turn in the stuff, what's going to happen is they're going to be inactivated rather than decertified. And so, which, I mean, it's a way for us to kind of have a placeholder. If people trickle in later, we can then just reactivate them. So technically, no one's being decertified. They'll just be inactivated until we get documents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome.
Sorry for the confusion on that, everybody. So a few things just to kind of wrap up the personal narrative piece. You want to make sure that you're specific in terms of your instances, and there are specific areas that we're looking for information on, and that would be either an economic hardship, systematic barriers, or denied opportunities. And you want to articulate how that has impacted you or your business in experiencing those things. And here's an example. These are the questions that are actually asked in our personal narrative document, which we have online, and I can show you where to find that here in just a sec. I think that the main takeaway is that you don't have to have a different personal narrative for all of these different questions. So you can use one example or two examples and apply that throughout here, right? So you don't have to feel like you have to, have a million different things. It's just that you want to just articulate in those, in those examples how these things have applied in your circumstance. Let's see here. And no change here, but we need to get the personal narrative and financial information from 51% of the ownership of your particular business, which has always been the case as it relates to documentation for any COBID certification. Again, you're going to get all these slides, and so you'll be able to dig into these more, but this is just an example of what is the type of level of detail we'd be looking at as it relates to these these questions for the personal narrative. So as you can see, it talks about, in 2019, when I applied for subcontracting opportunity, these things happen. It has the name of XYZ Construction in here, and I know that this has been a question on whether or not, if you have had an experience with a particular company, do you need to name who that experience was with? No, you do not. So I know that we don't share any of that information, so it is confidential, these personal narratives. It's not public information, but you don't have to name the name of the company. You can just say, I experienced this with, for a contract, things of that nature. I won't keep going. Hold on, I guess I'll put this in case there's someone.
Hey, Darren, there's a comment in there explaining what COBID is and how it benefits everyone, and I know you are the guru of that.
Yeah. So I think the long story short, if you haven't picked on it yet, so COBID, the acronym stands for Certification Office for Business Inclusion and Diversity. So that is COBID, which is an unfortunate acronym in these modern times. And essentially the state of Oregon has 6 different business certifications. There's 2 federal certifications, which is the DBE certification, which is the one we're talking about here today, as well as the ACDBE, the Airport Concessionaires Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification. And that's basically for anyone that wants to do business at the airport. And then we have 4 other certifications. We have a minority business certification, a women's business certification, a veterans business certification, and an emerging small business certification. Things to note. Nothing is changing with the state certs. So all the things that we're talking about here do not apply to any of our state certification processes. That's business as usual as it relates to those. And then for 5 of the 6 certifications that I mentioned, those apply to you as an individual. The emerging small business certification is one that applies to your business. So it's a little bit different in terms of what's required, and there's some other idiosyncrasies as it relates to the ESB certification. I am happy to report that we are going to have a new Oregon Small Business Enterprise certification coming this year, which will have some different kind of features and benefits associated with it. And happy to come back kind of at a later time to talk more about that one in detail. And I know we were kind of going here, Nate, so I'll try and speed through this stuff as much as I can.
No,
as I mentioned before, the decertification and recertification process will happen on January 15th. Jenny, why don't you take this slide actually, and then you can kind of speak to kind of what's happening on the timing for everything.
Okay. So the personal narrative, that is the new part. I mean, we've always had one. It's updated, needs to be on the actual new form. That is a highlight. It will get returned if it's not. We do need the new personal net worth. Nothing has changed, though, with the dollar amounts of that net worth and how we review it. All the same, standard business as usual. And this kind of talks about what we just talked about before. You won't actually, if a firm doesn't get the documents in to keep it going, they won't actually be, like I said, decertified. They'll be deactivated. One thing to note is that there is not a hearings process for the deactivations. When you reapply, if there was if you were to be denied or someone was to be denied, that's when the hearing process would come into play. So that's just a quick note on that. Um, most of it is just business as usual, but we just need a beefed up personal narrative. And I just want to encourage people to do it. It looks daunting because the form is long. And a lot of the calls I've received have been, how many examples do I need to give? I mean, honestly, if you have one valid example, that will do it, and just put them down. Don't be intimidated by the form, because we want to help everyone that should be approved, get approved, and we just have to be able to have something to justify why we did it in case, someone wants to look at our books. And so that's the only thing I say
Yeah.
is give it a shot. I mean, you know your life best, and if you feel it's good for you, do it.
And one thing to add on to that, we are not like grading on like the severity, right? And so I don't want folks to think that we're sitting there and saying, oh, well, that doesn't sound like it was that bad. I don't know that you were disadvantaged. So that's not the purpose of what we're trying to do. I think, to Jenny's point, we're trying to make sure that we stand up to scrutiny. And that's one of the things that we're kind of conscious of here in Oregon, that there could be some scrutiny from the federal government. And so we want to make sure that everything is defensible for our program. And so that's why we ask to answer the questions, right? Provide answers to the questions so that we can, feel good about having gotten all the necessary information that we need.
Yeah.
But we're not, judging the severity of your particular circumstance. And we can, if there's any questions about any of your answers, we'll work with you on those. Yeah. So, and I just realized I didn't answer the second part of Kenyatta's the request, and that is governments are looking to work with small businesses that have these certifications, and so by having certifications, it opens you up to additional opportunities, and so that's the reason why businesses do this, and why we'd encourage business to do this. We always tell people to apply for as many certifications as is possible. And that was kind of my line of questioning earlier, where it's if you have a business that is likely to be, working with ODOT as an example, then you would want to have that DBE certification. So that's really what certifications are about. And like Luke says here, look at our website and you can see, more information about certifications. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or email the general COBID email address. Last but not least, go ahead.
No, I was going to answer Kenyatta's newest question, is who determines the validity or approval of narrative statements? That would be me and Veronica Brummel. And again, just to make everyone feel there is not I don't know that I would use the word validity. It's just, is there a disadvantage? And disadvantages are relative, right? It is relative to your experience in life. Like something that might be a disadvantage to me would not be one to someone else. And that is not our place. If you feel it was disadvantaged to you, that's what we're going with, right? There is not a sliding scale of what we think was huge or minor. It is just, was there something? We just need, that's what we keep saying to each other. We just need something.
Yeah. Did you answer the question and were you specific, right? So it's like, answer the question and be specific. And those are really the things that we would be coming back around and wanting to get more information or to kind of sharpen the point on, is be as specific as you can. It's not a thing where we're, like I said, grading the level of disadvantage, in terms of severity. It's just like making sure that you have a specific instance and that you're able to respond to all the questions on there. Gloria, I see your hand up. Do you want to go ahead and answer or ask your question?
Yeah. Hey, Darren. Hey, yeah, this is Glitter Gloria. So I got a question. I just heard you talk about COBID, right, and all these certifications. Where is the proof that the folks on that list are really being utilized by public, I guess, and/or private agencies? Because when I look at contracts for the work that we do, right, like Deloitte, does Deloitte qualify for COBID stuff? If they, I'm just saying, have 50% or more of those kind of contracts, like what is the utilization rate to prove this certification is really being used and picked up by public agencies? Because then to me, why are there a lot of other private non, certified firms actually getting business?
It's a great question, and I'll answer it as thoroughly and as quickly as I can. There was a disparity study that was done by the state of Oregon a few years ago, which evaluated the utilization of COVID businesses. And to your point, or to your question, there is some opportunity there. There were, in terms of the number of COVID certified businesses that were actually receiving government contracts that were able to do the work was about 3% of the businesses, which is woefully underutilized. And so the governor has issued an order that actually the Oregon Small Business Enterprise is kind of a byproduct of, whereas all government state agencies there's a target of 11% COVID utilization throughout government agencies. So there's an effort afoot to utilize more COVID businesses. To your question about how do you know who's being, are COVID businesses getting an opportunity? There's actually a dashboard that's been set up through Department of Administrative Services where you can look and see the performance of the different agencies and their utilization of COVID certified businesses. Luke, if you could grab that dashboard web address and put it in the chat, or if you can't find it, or if you don't know where it is, I'll pull it up here in just a sec.
And if I could, Darren, I can
go ahead, Nate. I know you're all in this too. So you can
all the way in the mix, and I would say even Natalie's been in the mix in some of these conversations. But we've met directly with the governor, Gloria, and her team, and DAS, because Darren's right. That is the one we should really be asking that question of, because they handle a lot of the procurement for all the state agencies. And let's just say they're going through a cycle based on that disparity study of trying to right size project opportunities, procurements, make sure it's not alienating in a small business versus a large business. And the overarching thing is we're going to be watching, Gloria. So to your point, as these things come up and you keep trying to compete for work under a COVID label or not, we want to always know at NAMAC, because we can pick up a phone very quickly to say this does not feel right and is not the right way to share prosperity amongst all the small businesses in the region or across the state. So we're hoping that work will start to show its face in Q2, Q3, because there's some recommendations already being kind of gathered, and hopefully the governor will be supporting so that we can do exactly what you're asking. Hopefully stay COVID certified, because that will help. But to your point, they
Thank
don't
you, Nate.
guarantee work. It does
No, I
not
know you'd be
guarantee work.
on it. Thank you. No, I
We're
appreciate that.
trying.
Thank you. Thank
But
y'all.
please keeping us in the loop with you pursuing any projects, because we want to make sure make sure DAS knows who you are too, because they could do a little better job of getting out into the community like they're starting to do now. Daphne?
Do you mind if I put in the 2 cents about the DBE certificate specifically? As a public agent, right? We get federal funds, and specifically on those projects that have federal funds, we need to use the DBE certification specifically. So that is why it's important. It's the other certifications that COBID have are great, and they can be used when we have local funds, but ODOT, TriMet, Port of Portland, future IBR work, if it's federally funded, we need that DBE certification. So for the companies that are out there that have not yet recertified because they don't know why they should, please do it. Because for our federally funded contracts, we need those DBE certifications. We're going to start doing some outreach of our own, wondering why some of our DBEs that we've used at TriMet have not recertified yet. So that's why it's important. It's not only ODOT, but it's TriMet, Port, future IBR work. So please recertify.
Thank you, Daphne.
Great.
Just last thing here. So if you're looking for the information to reapply or recertify for your DBE certification, you'll find it on our website. What I didn't kind of go into a lot of detail about was the personal net worth. That's actually not any different. The personal net worth amount went up a little bit last year, but that's still a requirement. We'll need to have you fill out a form and then provide 2024 taxes. Again, those are no different from any other requirement as it relates to this certification. But those are the three things that we're looking for in particular for this new recertification process. And like Jenny mentioned, if by chance you miss the January 15th date, that doesn't mean that you are decertified. You're just deactivated, and you would still have to turn in this information. And once you've turned it in and it's been approved, then your DBE certification will be reactivated. But we just have to do it all at once. So the federal government has said you need to kind of make those determinations at one time. And so that's why we can't do the kind of onesie twosies. So at that point, we'll be able to kind of recertify everybody that's submitted and deactivate those who have not. And then to Daphne's point, then the DBE program will kind of be back up again to be utilized by the folks that are looking to satisfy the requirements for contracts that they have. So that was all I had. And I'm sorry I went over time a little bit, but that's what I got.
So the question from Bill Lanning, that was just dropped on the chat. So these are not technically recertifications. This is a whole, snowstorm that just came down from the federal government. So this is what we're doing to get everything back up and running with DBE. So if your normal, let's say your normal research for certification would be, I don't know, March of 2026, that date will still hold, and you will need to do your recertification, your NCA DOE as usual. This is just to get our program back up and running. It's kind of one of those stopgap things we had to put in there to get everyone going. So there is a difference between the 2025 re-eval that people have been filling out and your normal DOEs. So just to keep that in mind.
Thanks,
Good stuff. Good stuff. No, I appreciate that, and well worth the time we spent, even overtime. So thank y'all, COBID. Um, we were not able to get our national president on, so I just wanted to make sure that folks at least just keep this date in mind. That the midwinter conference that I was speaking to will be on February 17th and the 18th. We will do personal invites to both members and partners. Really, the emphasis would be that day one, where we'll have workshops where we'll certainly have all the national chapters here, but we will pick some partners, i.e., one of them we will certainly reach out to in Port of Portland on the T-Core completion and some other key projects in our region. So, again, I just want folks to know this is probably not the event to come one, come all, but we will certainly invite to what's called our gala, where I think everybody can come and participate if they'd like to. And that will probably be on that first night. But we'll get out the agenda. There'll definitely be points and touches where we would love y'all to engage. Day two is typically just board meetings nationally. So it really will be an emphasis on day one. So just know that we'll get some messaging out. Our goal is just to host NAMC National Conference, which is in the summer, the 60th year, which I think is about 2 or 3 years away. So again, hopefully y'all all will still be around, but that's one where we usually get about 700 to 800 folks. And that's our biggest event of the year, which is in the summer. And this year we'll be in Vegas. So if folks are very interested in getting in the sun, certainly members, partners, they're always looking for sponsors or folks who may want to engage. So as it gets a little closer to date, that's one that would be open to key corporate sponsors and partners and members. But this one is a really kind of quick huddle up across the chapter year to year for our midwinter board conferences. So again, just wanted to say that Wendell Stimley wishes his regards. He could have been here, but certainly he will engage the next time we see each other, which will be in February. So with that said, I know we got about 5 minutes, but I just want to see if there's anybody who has an announcement. I see Cinnamon has her finger
I
up.
want to make sure that we give the floor to Michelle with the city.
Oh,
I promised her
yep,
the
yep,
ability to make a quick announcement.
absolutely. Michelle, you got the floor.
I can talk really fast. I'm going to drop something in the chat. It is one of the reasons that I am providing this information is because NAMAC is so gracious in hosting one of our pre-offer meetings that is next week. So it's the campsite remediation. It is by the impact reduction team at the city of Portland, and the inclusive contracting team has been doing a lot of outreach regarding this project. Lucas Hillier is the project manager, and Christina Colada is the procurement specialist on this project. I'm going to drop the flyer in the chat. I've also sent it out to NAMAC and to other associations. But next week on the 13th is the first mandatory pre-bid meeting, and then on the 21st we have another one as well. There's two, but you only have to show up to one, according to Lucas. So, like I said, I'll drop it in the chat. It is January 13th from 11 to 12 at NAMAC, and the second one is January 21st from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Portland building. So like I said, there's two. You only have to pick one. I know that it is required for all primes to show up. I also, and so does Teresa Green, the inclusive contracting manager, we really, really, really encourage subcontractors to come to these spaces as well. It's a great place to talk to a buyer, talk to a project manager, talk to our team, and just see what these look like with these pre-offer meetings and get to meet some other people. So I'll see you guys next week and then January 21st. And I really appreciate it, Cinnamon, for giving me this opportunity. And I'm done.
Good stuff, and way to be short and concise and get all the good points out. Anybody else for good of the matter before I give you your lives back to end your day however you choose? Okay, the last thing I will say, if nobody else has anything to say, and I forgot to mention this when Josh was speaking earlier about the Jefferson project, part of the owner's rep role, and folks probably saw the headlines that now finally they have fully funded the Black Student Center for Excellence, which will be down the street from Jefferson and in the heart of the Albina community. One of the things I want all of our partners and members to hear here is that workforce development is hugely important to Kimberly Armstrong, the superintendent, who came from Evergreen School District, where they had the state-of-the-art Career Technical Education Center. I've toured it, plan on going back. What we would love to do at that center, and I've tapped some of our folks like Matt Johnson and others, that we are definitely about to take advantage of some CTE curriculum in that new campus. And I just want to lean on some of our key members and partners to do what Josh was saying related to Jeff, but we're going to expand that across the whole district and try to make sure that we can just do this in concert with Colas and Hoffman, but also with our architects, our engineers, those looking to get into the trades, POIC, all the folks. We now have some new hubs starting to create opportunities for young folks in our community. And I think about Melissa in banking. I mean, we can go all kinds of directions of getting young people into careers that maybe people that look like them are not really in, or they don't see them in those positions enough. So just know we're going to be calling on some folks, because I think this year is about creating more workforce opportunities in these lanes we're all in. So I'll end with that and say thank you all for your hard work and dedication to what we're doing at NAMAC and your own respective businesses. And we'll see you soon. So please call us or we will call you. All
Thank
right,
you.
take care. Everybody have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Good stuff. Thank you for a great January meeting.
Happy New Year, NAMAC.
Yes, Happy New Year's, everybody. Yes,
Yes.
thank you for that, Daphne. Good
I
to
had
see
my
you.
black-eyed peas and cabbage. I hope everybody else did.
You already know, Jennifer.
Is the COVID team still here? I just had a little sideline question quickly.
Oh, I do not know if they jumped off, and if not, we can totally follow up. If you
Yeah,
didn't
that's okay. No problem, Nate. Thank you so much for having us. Take
Thanks,
care.
Nate,
Have a good evening.
for
Yep,
everything,
good to
baby.
see you, T-Bone.
Nate,
Alrighty.
Nate,
Bye.
really quick.
Yep.
Are you going to the EWMC conference in
When
Seattle
is it?
next week?
I'm not, because I ain't even gonna be in town. Is it
Oh,
during the week? Oh, shoot. I know exactly the one you're talking about. with Aaron. Oh,
I'll be there. I'm
oh.
going.
Wait, what
Is
meeting is
anybody
that?
from NAMC going?
I was intended to go, man. My schedule was just so dumb. Kapua.
Okay.
I mean,
You
I
can
need
think
to
of
send Aaron a note. I mean, obviously, and just let him know. Let me do one more look. I don't know if I can get out of some stuff that I got commitments to because I know I said I would try to come, but man, life be life, and let me just say that. But let me
I'll
look. I
I'll,
would love to
I'll
come.
invite Cinnamon.
I mean, if she feels like she could make it, then cool. Or Khan on our team, because again,
Somebody.
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do me a favor and send a quick email, and then if I can't go, then I'll find somebody on the team.
Absolutely. That'd
Okay,
be
and
perfect.
Franklin, was you saying something, Franklin?
Yeah, I was saying, where was that meeting at?
Oh, you want to say something quickly to it, Kapua? Because I mean, it was something I was invited to, but do you want to share a little,
Yeah.
or is it
Where's
something
that
you
at?
can
What is
share?
it?
Oh, this is a EWMC conference that is Electrical Workers Minority Caucus that is in Seattle, Washington next week.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
it's a national conference, so it's folks from everywhere, the minorities in the industry, the
Oh,
electrical trade.
Do you
can you
have
send
to
it to
have a
me?
personal invite for that? I'm very interested.
I can take your information down. It's not me, it's my husband, but yeah,
One
I
and the
told him
same
I had a
That's right
meeting.
gentleman.
up our alley. We're limited energy, so I would definitely, yeah,
Mm.
like to take
Okay,
advantage of that. We've
is
got
your information in the chat or how can I get?
Elizabeth Young alarm tracks. It's towards the top, but I can drop it in the bottom. No problem.
Okay.
And I'm still on here, so y'all can get that quick info. Once I jump off, I think it cuts everybody off.
Yeah,
Thank
don't do that
you.
yet. Don't
No,
do
I
that. Give me
got
one
you.
second.
I got you.
Peace out, everyone. Take
All
care.
right, T-Bone. We'll be talking soon, man.
I got a lot of info tonight. That's pretty
Good. We
good.
always want that to be the case.
Yes,
Here's
sir.
my
Good evening,
email.
everyone. Thank you.
Great
Yes,
meeting. Thank
sir.
you so much.
Yep, Elizabeth got her info in the chat.
I
Franklin
did.
did.
Yep. Thank you.
And
Nate, you have a good one.
Elizabeth.
Happy holidays to you. Happy
Yes,
New Year and all that good stuff.
absolutely. Y'all
Elizabeth.
take care.
You too.
I'll let
Elizabeth.
Kapua. You got it, Kapua?
1 second. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I got it.
Thank you so
Okay.
I'll send
much.
you an
Y'all have a
email.
good
Talk to y'all
one.
later.
All
See
right.
you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.